Welcome to the deep dive.
Okay, let's get straight into it. We're looking at some pretty intense source material today.
We are. It's focused on what the sources call Law 15, crush your enemy. Totally.
Yeah.
A really stark strategic idea.
Totally. And our mission, I guess, is to figure out the logic behind it. Why this absolute commitment?
Exactly. The sources argue pretty strongly that hesitation, stopping part way, is actually way riskier than total ruthlessness.
Yeah.
We need to unpack why they think that.
It forces you to look at a harsh reality, doesn't it? The main point seems to be you lose more by stopping halfway than by, well, annihilation.
Right, leave one ember alight, as they say, and the whole thing can reignite. The enemy comes back for revenge.
And that's not a new idea, is it? You mentioned Kautilya.
Yeah, 3rd century BC. An Indian philosopher, he had this really vivid warning. A weak enemy is like a spark of fire in a haystack.
Oof, you ignore it because it's small.
And eventually the whole thing goes up in flames. It's about eliminating that potential, however small it seems. Okay, so to see what happens when you don't follow this, we look at ancient China. Xiang Yu and Liu Pang.
That's the classic case study. Xiang Yu was powerful, aristocratic. Liu Pang started as a peasant, but was much shrewder strategically.
And Xiang Yu had the chance, right? He could have finished Liu Pang early on.
Multiple times. The big one was at a banquet. Liu Pang was vulnerable. Assassination was planned. But Xiang Yu hesitated, let him slip away.
His advisor wasn't happy about that.
Not at all. Fan Xiang basically threw up his hands, said you can't plan with a simpleton. He saw the missed opportunity as fatal.
And it wasn't just hesitation, it was almost like misplaced sentimentality.
Yeah.
Later on, he had Liu Pang cornered again.
Cornered, yeah. Sued for peace. And Xiang Yu chose mercy. He hoped Liu Pang would serve him, maybe recalling their past connection.
Big mistake. He was confusing maybe personal feelings with strategic necessity.
Precisely. Because when the tables turned, Liu Pang showed zero such sentiment. His advisor gave him the hard truth. Said letting Xiang Yu go would be like rearing a tiger. It'll just come back and devour you later.
And Liu Pang listened.
Immediately. Made a fake peace treaty, waited for Xiang Yu to relax.
And then attacked.
Wiped out almost his entire army. Xiang Yu, he was left with nothing, ended up taking his own life.
So Xiang Yu's failure to be ruthless ultimately destroyed him.
That's the lesson the sources draw. Hesitation was his doom.
Okay, so if that's the failure model, who's the success story? Who actually did crush their enemy totally?
Well, the sources point to Caesar Borgia. His actions at Senigallia are presented as a textbook execution of this law.
Borgia, right. He was dealing with those mercenary captains, the condottieri, who were plotting against him.
Yes, they planned to trap him. But Borgia found out about the plot beforehand, and instead of reacting defensively...
He went on the offensive, but cleverly.
Magnificently, according to Machiavelli. He marched towards Senigallia with a huge force, like 10,000 infantry, 3,000 cavalry, but split them up.
Why split?
To look confident, maybe even a bit unsuspecting. He controlled the key bridge, greeted the plotters warmly, like nothing was wrong, lured the main leaders inside a palace.
Vitelli and Oliveretto, those were two of them.
Those were the key ones, got them inside, doors closed, then bang, arrested.
No hesitation there.
None. That very night, while their troops outside were being disarmed and dispersed, Borgia had the leaders strangled. Quietly. Efficiently.
Micheletto Carella, his executioner. Grim stuff.
It's brutal, but strategically. It was total, immediate removal of the threat. No chance for regrouping, no chance for revenge from those leaders.
And this ties back to Machiavelli's core idea about dealing with rivals.
Exactly. Machiavelli spells out the psychology. Men must either be caressed or else annihilated. Why? Because they will revenge themselves for small injuries, but cannot do so for great ones.
That's the takeaway then, isn't it? If you injure an opponent, make it decisive. A small wound just creates a motivated enemy.
A very motivated enemy. And this idea, you see it echoed across history. Moses, Mao, Clausewitz. The consensus seems to be that real security only comes when the enemy is gone. Completely.
Yeah. But hang on, the sources do mention a slight twist, right? Sometimes leaving an escape road.
Sometimes, yeah. A tactical variation. Let a beaten army flee. Let them demoralize themselves and retreat rather than fighting like cornered rats.
But that only works if they're truly broken. If they can't come back later.
Right. It has to be a defeat that shatters their ability to seek revenge. Otherwise, you risk what happened after, say, the Treaty of Versailles.
Ah, okay. A huge injury, massive resentment. But Germany wasn't annihilated. They could and did eventually rebuild and seek vengeance.
Exactly. Which leaves us with a final thought for you to consider.
If total destruction prevents immediate revenge, but might sow the seeds for future, maybe even worse, conflict down the line, does that short-term security always outweigh the long-term price? Something to think about.